The reality is that many children grow up admiring their favorite performers, hoping that one day they would be signed and become successful artists. With a life that appears to be pre-packaged with fame, cash, and luxuries, most musicians can only hope to get their work signed to a record label. How could you blame them? Few people would turn away a chance that promised financial independence, a luxurious life, and most importantly, fame. What if I told you that this was exactly what record labels expected you to believe? This was, for the most part, a fantasy designed to entice young talent and trap them. To put it simply, a record label is typically a loan given to an artist, allowing the artist to create a highly desirable body of work that can then be sold. The profits from this sort of work can be used to repay the record label's loan as well as other expenses. Whatever is left is shared between the record label and the artist. So just because you sign a $2 million contract tomorrow does not guarantee you will receive $2 million. This essentially means that you are being lent this amount of money for the life of your contract. When you first sign, you will receive an advance. Usually, an enormous sum of money would impress anyone. This is offered to trap the artist because they know the artist will spend it, placing them in debt. The record label even encourages the artist to spend the advance, suggesting they use it to relocate, purchase costly apparel and vehicles, and claim that it will boost their image. This marks the beginning of the trapping cycle. Now, an artist is in debt. The purchase you made was valued at $2 million. Assume the record label offers you a $500,000 advance. You have now left $1.5 million, but you owe the record label $500,000 before any money was spent on song production. You're now in the studio, ready to start recording some hits. You are then taken to a high-quality recording studio, which costs between $120 and $300 per hour. The label will reserve this room for a week, or possibly several months. All of this is coming out of your remaining $1.5 million. Assume you spend an additional $200,000 on studio time to complete your album. You now have $1.3 million and owe $700,000. Now, in order to create a hit song, you must first obtain a popular beat and, in certain circumstances, a whole song from the ghostwriter. Labels will call hit producers and writers, who can charge anywhere from $25,000 to $500,000 for each beat. Assume you spent another $300,000 on beats. You have $1 million now, but you owe $1 million. The label will need to promote your music after you have some successful records. Since artists require marketing to sell records, record labels assign them marketing teams, who then strategically plan out ways to increase their influence. Approximately $250,000 will be spent to position an artist on the top Spotify playlist, and they will begin paying playlist owners to play their songs over the streaming playlist. Next, they get in touch with radio stations. On a radio station, a record label will purchase a specific amount of commercial ad space. This hides the fact that they pay the radio stations to broadcast the song of the musician. Let's now imagine that a record label offers a radio station $200,000 to play your song during prime time and advertise your next live performances. You've now spent $550,000 and owe $1.5 million. Now, while you were making music and being made, you had a crew and a manager working tirelessly behind the scenes to make things happen. Even if you don't realize it, you are paying for all of these individuals. Assume you paid your employees another $200,000, leaving you with $300,000 and owing $1.7 million. Now that you're buzzing and your song is gaining traction, performers will want to start touring. This requires travel and lodging fees. Now that you're renowned, you have to live up to a high life image. Artists will begin to fly private, which may cost anywhere from $20,000 to $50,000 each flight. When they arrive, they must stay at the best hotels with the most expensive rooms. The label will also have to rent and customize a tour bus. All of this can be extremely expensive. Assume an amount of $500,000. You went over your initial budget by $200,000, resulting in a total debt of $2.2 million. This is where artists say, it's all worth it. The truth is, it's not as simple as it appears. Let's say you're lucky and your song earns $3 million. before you even consider touching any of that money, the record company needs to repay its investment. The $2.2 million you owe is deducted now, leaving you with $800,000. Most people believe that musicians sign contracts and receive a large amount of their royalties. However, unless you're a known act, your income share is often less than 8%, with some artists receiving as little as 4%. This means that an artist will only receive 4 to 8% of the profits earned. Labels typically sign musicians to a variety of deals, with new performers signing to 360 deals. A 360 deal basically means that a label will be able to profit off anything an artist does associated with music, meaning that a label can take a portion of any shows with other expenditures that come with touring, leaving big-name artists in tough financial positions. This is how they trap an artist. An artist takes more money and slips back into further debt. Labels not only control artists financially, but also more directly. They will dress them in the brands that they can wear and how they can dress themselves. They're doing this to deceive the fans. See, record labels understand that if they have complete control over an artist, they can use that to manipulate fans. They can use artists to advance agendas, promote products, and sell a whole lifestyle. These record labels have nefarious motivations for what they do. Knowing that artists will do anything to live the life of their dreams that comes with being signed and selling their own work. If you're an artist, these labels could be your ticket to the music industry. The only way to make it big. This is precisely what record labels want you to believe. They want you to believe that signing with them is the only way you will succeed. In actuality, it is the other way around. If record labels don't have any artists, they won't make any money. So they need to sign artists in order to be compensated. Upcoming musicians are convinced to sign these deals after observing the situations and lifestyles of renowned artists. They utilize artists to sell you a lifestyle that gives them influence over you. When an artist no longer has the attention of their fans, they dump them. I wouldn't advise all artists not to sign with a record label. I'm only suggesting that it's not as it appears. If you decide to sign a record deal, be sure it is the correct one for you. When you do receive an advance, consider saving the majority of it. Do not utilize pricey studios. Stick with less-priced producers. Don't let record labels continue to utilize the same strategies to enslave musicians. That is the end of this video. I hope you learned something new. So what are your thoughts about these scams? Comment your thoughts in the comments section below.